Making money off Instagram Reels in 2025 has never been easier, but only for those people who know how it actually works. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how you will be able to set yourself up for 2026, and I'm talking about getting results like these that I've gotten for my clients so far. And it all boils down to 3 different steps. 1, understanding how to create content that actually converts. 2 is knowing how to be a killer in the DMs. And 3, knowing what metrics need to actually be tracked. Now, all of these things are what I implement for my clients that got us the results that I showed you earlier. And if you want my team's personal help to come inside your business and build out those systems for you so you can get past your current barrier, just click the link in the description so you can apply to work with me. But that being said, let's get right into this video. So the first step to even understanding how to create content that actually converts is understanding the personal brand pyramid, which I'm building out right here. And this is really simple, right? So first you have your niche, and let's say you are making gym content, so your niche would be gym, right? Or workout, whatever it is. And then you have a sub niche, which actually goes deeper into your niche. And that would be an example of leg workouts or chest workouts, whatever it may be. Now, a lot of people get confused on this part because they just have their niche and they're creating broad content that's a little bit too broad and they don't reach the people they want to be reaching. If you want to reach a certain demographic of people and actually make content that converts, you have to be speaking to a certain set of people. So you have to have a sub niche. Then once you understand that and understand what your niche is, understand what your sub niche is, you have to understand how to actually create short form content that converts to get results like these, right? So 5 million views generated, 879,000 views generated, as you can see over here. These are just some client results, right? So the basics, right? So first we have our hook, and there's actually 3 different types of hooks. We have our visual hook, we have our sound hook, and we have our verbal hook. A visual hook is like me holding something to grab attention. So if I were to hold my wallet and put my mic on it, that would grab your attention. Bright blue wallet with a mic on it, right? And then you have a sound hook, which could be something like a cha-ching, like if you ever heard those and when people were talking about money, like I made $10,000 last month, cha-ching would be in the background. And then we have a verbal hook, which would be how to make 30K this month as a coach. Something like that catches the viewer's attention with those certain words. And to be honest, it doesn't matter which hook you use as long as you're using one of these. And something I did not write down in this video or in this board over here is there's actually 7 different hook types, right? So I'm gonna write them out for you. So you have your problem hook first, which would be like, coaches stuck at $30,000 a month, you need to fix this one thing in your content. And then we have a question hook, which would be like, are you stuck at 30K a month as a coach? A desire hook would be like, a lot of coaches wanna get past $30,000 a month, but they don't know this one thing, right? So it's getting you excited, it's getting a desire out there. And then a trend hook would be something like, that's trending on social media that other businesses or other people are posting, and just reverse engineer it so it matches what you have to offer. So this can be a dance, or for example, there was one where people would throw water at some people outside their business, and then people would come pounding at the door and they'd be like, you see, everybody wants to have a coffee here at Dunkin' Donuts or whatever it may be, but that's an example. And then after trend hook, you have a fact hook, which would be like 90% of people are losing their jobs because of AI, and here's how you can avoid being replaced. And then a topic hook would be something like, coaches who ran out of content ideas, you need to try out this one thing, right? So the topic is content ideas for coaches. And then last but not least, we have belief, which would be something like, you don't need to spend $10,000 on ads a month just to scale to $100,000 a month as a coach. So this is shattering a belief, right? That you need ads to scale to $100,000 a month as a coach. Either one of these are great. Just like I said over here, it really doesn't matter which one you use, but you should mix it up, see what performs best, and then whatever performs best, use in all of your pieces of content. And of course you can still mix it up, but you get what I'm saying. So now a lot of you guys may be thinking, thank you, Jack, you just dropped me the most valuable information for hooks. Now my videos are gonna go viral and reach the people I want them to reach, but that's actually not true. So yes, your hook is important, but it's not the most important. And that's one of the biggest myths in the content space, is that you need a perfect hook, but you actually need a stronger buildup. So a buildup comes right after the hook. So if I were to tell you, this is how you're going to make $30,000 this month as a coach, that's a hook. But a build-up is what comes after. So a lot of people just get to the point of their videos without going in deeper in somebody's pain. So great, I hooked you in with how to make $30,000 this month as a coach, but you're still not convinced, right? You'll watch the video, but you're still not curious enough. You're curious, don't get me wrong, but you could be a lot more curious to figure out how you're going to get past $30,000 a month or make $30,000 this month as a coach. And this is the most missed part that a lot of people F up in their content. So for example, I used this one strategy I'm about to tell you with my client John, and it doubled his revenue in just 30 days. So that made you even more interested. You're like, whoa, I want to double my revenue in 30 days. What is this secret strategy that nobody has been telling me about? So that's a buildup. Or for example, if you're not a coach, keep scrolling. That's a really simple one, but that also works. Remember, if you have like no buildup, your video is going to perform like crap. I mean, it's not gonna do good at all. So make sure you have your build up, because that is definitely one of the most important parts when it comes to your short form content. And then you have your body over here, right? Which I didn't add, but you have your body, and that's just, you know, the promise of the hook. So you're giving them the strategy that I talked about in the hook of making $30,000 a month as a coach. And then you have your call to action, which can be literally anything as simple as follow me for more, or comment doc and I'll send you over my free 10-minute masterclass, right? So comment CTA and you follow CTA, or save this for later and share with a friend. Doesn't matter which one you use, but if you're new to content, what I always tell people is if you're just starting your page and you don't have that brand presence yet, don't do CTAs until you've done 30 to 60 pieces of content. You build up that brand awareness, then start doing call to actions, whether it's in the caption or in your videos, and then you'll get better results because your audience will have trust with you, they know you, and they can relate to you, and they like your content. And then you should start doing it three to four times a week is enough. Now, also, a lot of you may be asking, when should I post content? It really doesn't matter. Posting times don't matter. But if you do want the best results, because algorithms push it out to your followers or subscribers first, always post when your audience is most active. And you can check that by doing this. I'm going to show you guys on my screen. You guys can see it. So I'm going to go to Instagram over here, and you're going to go to your home page. You're going to click the professional dashboard. And then once that loads, you're gonna click new followers. You're over here, you're gonna scroll all the way down, and it'll show you when they were most active depending on the certain day. And then that's when you decide to post. But for a lot of you, it's gonna be throughout the whole day, really. And a lot of you may be asking, how often should I post a week? I recommend 1 to 3 videos a day. So 7 to 21 videos a week is amazing to really build up your brand and build that online presence. Now that you've mastered content, you know how to make content that not necessarily goes viral, but it can go viral, but also tracks your ideal audience to your content. You need to understand how to kill it in the DMs and not be like most people. And that's where we tie into client acquisition. So there's inbound, which I break down in other videos you can watch, and I'm going to do more videos on, but that's not what I'm going to cover in this video. That's people who come to you through content. But I'm going to focus on outbound, right? Cold DMs, cold email, cold calling. We're going to go over cold DMs today. And cold DMs, there's different ways to do them, but what I teach people is just a simple opener like, hey blank, how long have you been in business for? Or hey blank, saw your post on blank, how has business been? And the reason why this is great is because it creates a relationship with the prospect. And you're not pitching them right off the bat, because a lot of people just pitch their offer right off the bat, or ask to schedule a call, or send them a Loom video. And it's like, you're forgetting that the person has feelings and they're also a human. So you want to create that relationship with them and be the black sheep when it comes to DMs. Don't be pitching people right off the bat. Don't be trying to use people. Show to people that you actually care about them. And also you want to see if they're even a good fit for what you do, because you don't know if they are or not. And an example of a pitch that you shouldn't do is like this one that I got the other day. Hey Jack, this is a cold DM. I'm about to pitch something, so if you're interested. If you're not interested, read no further. This is a horrible DM. I advise you to never, ever do this DM. I mean, it is absolutely horrendous, and you're not going to get any results, and if you do, you'll get 1 out of 100 people. But not worth it. You're going to waste your time, and it shows that you're just using the prospect, and it takes away the humanity between you and the prospect. So super simple. Send DMs openers like that. Anything that creates a relationship with the prospect. Now, since you've mastered your content, you know how to handle people in the DMs. Now you have to understand how to track your metrics properly. And what I'm about to break down when it comes to tracking metrics has gotten my clients results like making $99,000 a month, as you can see right over here. And the secret to making this much money every single month is by tracking your metrics properly. Like, you can have all this, you can know how to do your DMs, you can know how to make content, but if you aren't tracking your metrics properly, leads are just going to fall at the back, and you will be missing out on thousands of dollars and hundreds of calls booked. So I want you guys to understand that for those of you who don't track any of your metrics, you don't track them properly, it's like going through life with no goals. And when you go through life with no goals, you have no direction, meaning you have no purpose, and you don't know what you do with your life. And that's how people end up going downhill, because they don't have any purpose, right? So you want to make sure you're tracking your leads. So these are the 6 different leads that you should be tracking. The metrics is leads added for the month, DMs or cold emails, whatever outreach you sent, and then outreach responded. So how many people responded to the outreach you sent, whether it's cold DMs, cold emails, cold calling, and then outreach response rate. So that's key. So you know how many DMs you have to send in order to get X amount of calls booked or results. And then you have your outreach to booking link sent. This is important because you understand how many DMs do I need to send in order to reach X goal of calls booked, of X calls to booking link sent, right? And then booking link sent to book calls, which is important, so you know how many DMs you have to send in the grand scheme of things in order to get a certain amount of calls booked. So let's say you send 100 DMs and you have a 30% response rate, 30 people respond. And then let's say you have a DM response rate to booking link sent, let's say it's about 15%, right? So I'm not great at math, so I'm not going to do that in my head, but that's 4.5 people that were sent booking links. And let's say booking link to book call rate's about 80%, which is what it should be for most of you. That's 3.6 calls, so 3 to 4 calls that you're going to book from sending 100 DMs. So it's important to know that, so you know how much volume you need to be doing in order to hit X amount of book calls to hit X amount of revenue. And that's, you also need to know your closing rate. Because let's say you book 3, let's just call it 3, right? You book 3 calls. If you have a 25% closing rate, you're not even going to close one person. So you need to be sending more than 100 DMs, 200 DMs to even close one person. That's why it's super important to track your metrics, because at the end of the day, it's all a numbers game.